Alrighty guys, what's going on? It's your boy Vincent, and you already know I'm back for another banger of a video. This time, what I'm doing is I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna rate some of my top 5 favorite girls from video games, aka waifus. Just for you guys to know, this is a huge personal opinion alert right here. Alert. So anyways, without further ado, let's go and jump right into it. These are just a couple. I know there's so many video games out there and so many beautiful female characters from video games, but I'm just gonna focus in on 5 just to keep it nice and simple. And the first one we're gonna focus on today is a game that I played. The first game console that I had when I moved over from Taiwan was a Nintendo DS, and that DS came preloaded with a game called Metroid. So the main character, her name is Samus Aran. She is a strong, independent baddie. And that's gonna be a theme in this top 5. Everyone's gonna be a strong, independent baddie. And also most of them have ponytails. I figured I loved ponytails. But yeah, Samus. So when I was playing through the game, I didn't know she was a girl at all. You only really know because at the very end she takes off her power suit and it's a girl. And she's the very first strong female video game protagonist that I've ever been introduced to. And I love her, you know? She travels around space by herself. Murdering aliens, basically that's her job. She's a bounty hunter. You know, her parents died when she was very young, protecting her from a space pirate named Ridley. It's like this giant dragon thing. And she was raised by aliens, actually. She was raised by these bird people called Chozo. Now, what I love about Samus is that, one, we already know, repeat this with me, strong, independent baddie, but also, she's an intellectual. She tends to communicate very well with all species of aliens. She is friendly, and her power suit supposedly demands intense focus just to be able to wear it. So for her to run around, fly around, blast around in that power suit, you know she got that good brain. So shout out Samus, that's my number 5. Alright, let's go ahead and move on to number 4. Another game from my childhood, Fire Emblem, and this girl, her name is Lyn. She is beautiful. She is also, once again, repeat it with me, strong, independent baddie, okay? She has a very similar story as Samus, I want to say. I think Lyn is the most sentimental of the characters that's covered on my top 5. She has a lot of trauma, emotional trauma. Well, you know what? She's put in a very difficult spot. She's between a rock and a hard place, you know? And I'll link a video down in the comments below on a video that does very well explaining her situation. But basically, she's a mixed-blooded royal. Her mom is a royal, like, princess or queen or something like that. Basically royalty. And her dad is part of a tribe called the People from the Plains. They're not really seen as people. They're seen more as wild animals, according to the royals anyways. So yeah, Fire Emblem I think does a really great job of touching on some really deep topics, such as class and hierarchies and race and stuff like that. So in this game, it just happened that Lyn's dad's side was part of a people that were sort of looked down upon. The royalty people really don't want anything to deal with them. So anyways, her backstory is her whole family got killed when she was young by bandits, and so now she's alone. Her values lie in like familial ties very heavily. She treasures her family, right? So when she realizes that she only has one member of her family left, it's someone who's from the royalty part of the family. I think it's her mom's dad. She leaves her homeland and she goes and tries to become a royal princess. And obviously, because of her blood and how she looks,
you look good, girl.
she looks like somebody who from Sake, which is where she grew up. People didn't really like her. They criticized her because she looked different, she acts different, she doesn't act like a royal, so she got a lot of backlash, and she's just so strong to be able to go through that kind of situation. I don't know many people who could do that, so huge respect for Lin. She's just a hard worker, she loves family, she expresses her emotions very well. I love people who tell me what's wrong and communicate.
Would you guys be there for me if I was going through something?
No. Nope. Absolutely not.
So she does that very well, and there's a couple characters in that game also who are almost her foils. There's one guy who went through the same kind of childhood, but he doesn't express his emotions at all. So their relationship is very beautiful, and I love Lin. Just a strong, independent baddie. Go ahead and repeat that with me, okay? So that's Lin. That's a long breakdown, but that's Lin. Let's go and move on to number 3. I know our community plays a lot of League of Legends, so I couldn't leave a League waifu out of this.
This song is dedicated to all the Rift Casanovas and all you basement Romeos. You know who you are. She's my queen, lady of my dreams. Seems cold, but she's sweet as ice cream. Always got my back when I need assistance. Long range looker, stunning from a distance.
There's so many to choose from. Y'all already know if you've watched my first playthrough of League. I love Miss Fortune, but she's not on the list today. I had to choose between Miss Fortune, Katarina, and a couple others, but I settled on Akali for my number 3. First of all, y'all already know she's a strong, independent baddie, and she's a ninja. Okay, I didn't talk about this with Lin, but I love all these swords master, ninja types of characters in games. That's my favorite kind of character class, right? Or these fast units.
Gotta go fast, gotta get down and do a little dash.
So Akali being a ninja just happened to fall right into my perfect spot. She's tattooed. I love that. Good person. If you guys watch the runes of what's that? Runes of Torterra? that's wrong. Don't. I'm gonna cut this part out.
Stupid. I'm not gonna let you get the chance.
runes of Tortellini? What is it? Basically, if you guys watch the character trailer for Akali, or her character short, she's a genuinely good person. You know, there's a kid who angered the forest, and the forest wanted basically a life for a life, right? The kid cut a tree, and so the forest is gonna take this kid's life. And Akali, she wanted to save this kid. That's something I love about her. She questions traditions. I think tradition is important, but I also think don't blindly act just because tradition demands you follow a certain way of life, right? So Shen is her master, and Shen is like, oh yeah, you know, the forest, a life for a life, you get it, like, you get it. And Akali said, no, I don't get it. I'm gonna figure out a way I can save this kid. And she does. She's got 9,000 IQ. You know, she's big-brained. I love that about her. She's a bit of a trendsetter. She does things her own way. She actually left the tutelage of Shen in search of figuring out her own way to protect the forest. So I love that about her. And also, if you guys ever watched some of the KDA videos, whoo-wee! She is a snack. She's a little snack. She's a baddie. I think her persona in those music videos actually translates to her character very well, because in the music video, basically, she's like a rapper. She's a little edgy, right? She looks like a bit of a threat. And that's because she's a baddie. I think it translates perfectly. I feel like if I hung out with Akali, she would be that kind of character. You know, somebody who's just a little edgy, a little rough, but she's a great person.
You ready for this?
Let's go.
See, 언제든지 내 모습 매직 단 한 번에 내가 잡아 절대 기죽지 않지. 펴펴 네가 뭘 알아? 괜히 수워서 원해도 원하는 게 얼굴에 보여. I'm troubling you running it. I'm so cold. When I move that way, you gon' be so blown. I'm the realest in the game.
So that's Akali. I love her. She cool. Let's move on to number 2. Number 2 comes from a game that I played because of the community. Once again, Genshin Impact, right? Y'all all knew that I was gonna put somebody from Genshin on here. My waifu was, this is very hard to choose from, because I have multiple waifus in Genshin, as do most people. Please go ahead and comment down below your top 5, by the way. I would love to do some research on that when I get the chance to. But my number 2 is Beidou. Okay, I love Beidou. She's a self-employed merchant baddie. Okay, strong, independent also. You already know. Trusted leader. She defends her people. Also, she's very nice. Like, for a merchant, I think typically the stereotype for merchants is that they're greedy, they'll do anything for money. And while that is the case, sometimes she has a very kind heart. I remember reading a story about how she was, because she has a ship, right? And she was traveling through very stormy waters, and she saw a tiny little boat that was struggling because the waves were so big, and she towed them to safety at the risk of her own ship taking massive damage. And she did that for free. She didn't ask for compensation. So she's very generous with money when she wants to be. You know, she's just a genuinely good person, very kind. She also, and this is in-game, this isn't exactly her personality, but she tanks hits for days. And I feel like that does translate into her personality. She's willing to take hits for the people that she loves. Ooh, that was deep. But yeah, you know what? She does her own thing. She's independent. I think that's a trending theme with all of these characters that I chose, is that they're very independent. They don't need to be babysat. They all like to do their own things their own way, which I love. That very much, I think, encapsulates the way I am also. And yeah, I think that's about it for Beidou. Obviously, she's looking like a delicious snack, and from what I read, she knows a lot about seafood, which I'm not that big into, I'm gonna be honest, but I can still appreciate a girl who likes seafood, you know? Shout out Beidou. She's one of my favorites, and lightning is my favorite element from the Genshin Impact game, so you know I gotta put a lightning waifu up here. Alright guys, go ahead and give me a quick little drum roll, because I'm about to drop my number 1 on you. This one, I think I cheated a little bit. She's not just from a video game. The video game's more of a spin-off to the anime series where she's from. She's a character from Bleach. You guys might be able to guess it. My number 1 top waifu from video games is Yoruichi Shihoin. Yeah, you guys can repeat this with me at this point. She's a strong, independent baddie, and she just has pretty much everything that I love about a character. She's loyal. I'm not gonna give you any spoilers, but there's a part in the story where she puts herself in extreme danger to save a friend, right? She's very loyal. She's a ninja. You already know I like that kind of class. She can turn into a cat, which, okay, I don't want to sound like I'm a huge furry or anything, but I do like cats a lot. And she, even as a human, like, she has very feline characteristics. She's very quick on her feet. You know, her nickname's like Flashmaster, Yoruichi, or something like that. She's very light. She's very playful. That's something that cats are known for. And I love that about her. She's a bit of a troll, you know? Yoruichi's a troll. There's a scene where so the first time she meets the main characters of the show, she's in cat form. And the cat form has a really deep voice. So everyone's expecting the cat to be a male cat, right? But out of nowhere, she suddenly transforms back into her human self. And the main character is shook. let's just say that. You guys can go and do your own research, but she's a troll. She's funny. She likes to play. She does what she wants. She's a born royal, actually. She's born into one of the 5 big royal families, but she doesn't act like a royal. When we first meet her, it's during an arc called the Soul Society arc, and there's a royal by the name of Byakuya who's extremely stuck up, very traditional, doesn't question laws and stuff like that. But she does. She does things her own way, and I love that about her. She questions traditions. But yeah, she's also a great mentor to the main character. She's a guide. Basically, this is the beginning of the story, and he's very weak. He doesn't know what's going on. He's very uninformed about where they're going, and she teaches him everything. So without her, he would not be where he is at today as a powerful main character. So thank you, Yoruichi, you beautiful little ninja. And now here's the crazy part. She is basically in a story where everyone has swords and their powers come from swords, she doesn't even need a sword. I think that might be the author's mistake. Maybe he just never really came up with the power for her. But that's just how much of a baddie she is. She doesn't even need a sword to fight in a world where swords are the main weapon of choice. So, shout out Yoruichi, you beautiful little snack. Alrighty y'all, if you've made it all the way to the end of the video and you're seeing this face right now, I seriously appreciate y'all. Thank you so much for watching the entirety of the video, and please, once again, leave me a comment down below on what your top favorite waifus are. You can never get enough waifus in your life, right? So I can't wait to do some research on all of your guys' favorite snacks in the video game / anime world. Alrighty guys, but once again, I would just like to thank you guys so much for support, for the support that we have on Discord. If y'all want to join, the link's in the description below. For your support of the channel, thank you for the likes, the comments, the subscriptions. We love y'all. Don't you ever forget, game it till you make it, baby.